Hey, this is King Simon, the International Numerovator. Remember, get all my books on Amazon or go to Linktr.ee/King Simon, the Numerovator. And remember, don't forget to book my sessions at 347-496-1022. Book now.
Ta-da! Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the applause. Thank you very much for the applause. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. Oh, thank you. I am not worthy. I'm not worthy. What's up? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Good. Top of the morning. How y'all feeling this top of the morning, family? Man, I hope everyone is well. I hope everyone was well. Okay, of course, one of the main rules that I always like to remind you, please like, subscribe, share, and comment, or like, subscribe, comment, share with at least 5 or more people right now. I want everybody to do, if they're on their spiritual journey of reaching and taking themselves to the next level at any level, because the topic today is the numerovational power of reaching. Numerovational power of reaching. Yes, yes, yes. So I hope everybody's doing well. It's going to be a King Simon expressive perspective. Reaching. Yes, yes, yes. I hope everyone is doing well. Man, good. Good to see y'all out there. Power and strength, abundance. That's right. That's right. Got my pen and pad ready. Uh-huh. That's right. That's good. Do what you got to do. Instagram, how y'all feeling? Because we're broadcasting on Instagram, Facebook, and all these other places too. So how y'all feeling out there? If y'all can hear me clearly, put the number 1 in the chat. If you can hear me clearly, put the number 1 in the chat on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on 3 Facebook pages, actually, I'm on, and 2 YouTube pages. So we're gonna have a great show. We'll try to keep it less time. Again, those that are new to my show, I come from a mathematical numerovational perspective. I am Brother King Simon, the Numerovator. You can connect and book a session or get my products via Linktree. That's Linktree/King Simon, the Numerovator, as you see on the screen here. And I'm honored again to ask your ancestors and my ancestors and the creative force for allowing me to be before you. I'm gonna start doing that, asking that, that I'm allowed. And please, again, put the number 1 in the chat if you could hear me. That's good. Some people are listening, some people are not. It's all right. Some people listen, some people don't. But put the number 1 in the chat. And this is a very important topic because some people are reaching positively and some people are reaching negatively. Some people are reaching can be someone doing too much when it doesn't have to go that far. Or reaching could be something that you're reaching for, some type of goal that you're reaching for in your life. No matter what it is, the word reach and reaching has a mathematical vibration connected to them. And I want to make sure everyone on here is aware of that. That's why today's topic is exactly what it said. The numerovational power of Reaching, numerovational power of reaching. And I want everyone to want to reach. You know what I'm saying? Before I put that up there, I'm doing too much myself. But I want everybody to reach as high as you can reach. Reach while you're doing your exercise. So just like when we used to reach for the ceiling and do those exercises on our tiptoes, that was an exercise that helped to stretch your spine and stretch your back and stretch your calves and your toes and your ligaments in your body, reaching to help make yourself better in some form of fashion. Now, like I said, there is a positive and a negative aspect of reaching, because there's some people that they can get into a situation with somebody, and so they can get some one up on somebody, they probably reach for something else. They'll reach for what happened in the past when they already resolved it with the person. They'll reach for something that happened with them and their family. Or people reaches so they can, and some people are reaching just to stay in their level of consciousness. Some people are reaching back instead of reaching forward so they can stay in their level of consciousness. Many of y'all may have known that. Many of you have seen people go reaching back into the past of what happened with mom and dad. And you can learn from your past, from mom and dad or cousins and uncles and all that stuff. And you can learn from it, but you don't keep on reaching back there. You only reach with the information you needed that's going to help you heal while you're reaching forward. Because again, these words that we use have a frequency, and if they are applied well from their meanings, it can be very helpful. And so, I like to go to the dictionary meaning. There is a dictionary meaning behind all these words. I like to go to the dictionary because it's important that we get the different meanings of the word so we can carry ourselves appropriately in this realm. So I hope everybody's well. I hope everybody's comfortable. Yeah, you can get a pen or paper, or you can just rewind this and watch it over again. Again, the topic is, and we're going to stay on topic, the numerovational power of reaching. Numerovational power of reaching. And I'd like to put it on the board, a dictionary meaning of the word reaching.
Reach.
So the root word of the word reach, or reaching in a present participle, stretch out an arm in a specific direction in order to touch or grasp something. That's one of the first meanings. Make a movement with one's hand or arm in an attempt to touch or grasp. Hand something to someone. Be able to touch something with an outstretched arm or leg. The second meaning, arrive at or get as far as. And then they have a sub meanings on the bottom, attain or extend to a specific point, level, or condition. Succeed in achieving, succeed in influencing or having an effect on. Make contact or communicate with someone by telephone or other means. Of a broadcast and other communications be received by. Sail with the wind blowing from the side or from slightly behind the side of the ship. So there's multiple meanings to the word reaching or reach. And they said the origin of that word is West Germanic and also related to the Dutch also. So those words are coming from German and the Dutch. Okay, good. Now that we know what are some of the basic meanings of it, to arrive to get to a point, being able to touch something with the outstretched, succeed in achieving. And I think that's the one I really want to focus on. Succeed in achieving or succeed in influencing or having an effect on. I think those are the two that I would like to focus on because many of us are going throughout our day working to achieve some type of goal at their job, whether it's to get through the day because your boss is getting on your nerves, whether it's just to be present and accomplish what you want to accomplish in what you're reaching for. Because many of us are reaching for something in our life. And if you're not, it's time to do so. Many of us are reaching for something in our life, but if you're not, it is time to do so. Two meanings that I have is going to be succeed in achieving and succeed in influencing or having an effect. Those are the two meanings I'm going to focus on at this time for the word reach or reaching. Succeed to achieving. How many of you want to succeed at something? Give me a number 1 in the chat if you want to succeed at something. And are you achieving and succeeding at something? Put a number 1 in the chat if you want to succeed or you are succeeding at something. Because one of the meanings is succeed in achieving, and the other one is succeed in influencing or having an effect on. So how many of you want to succeed? How many of you want to achieve something or you're already doing it? Just put the number 1 in the chat. I don't need a dissertation. I don't need any explanation. Now, if I open up the phone line, my phone line, I have to charge that. I have to charge that. Okay, so people are putting one in the chat. That's good. That is good. I am glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. Instagram, where you at with your ones? Who's striving to succeed? Who wants to succeed? Who wants to achieve? Are you achieving? Are you succeeding? Very important. Very important. And getting to the mathematics of it real quickly. And I do want to do that. And the only way I'm going to do that is to change the setting and get that blur out of the background there. Okay, no black, no blur. Very important that we recognize the mathematical frequency of the number. Like I said, I don't want to be up here too long because it's really simple. It's really simple if you're willing to work towards it. Now, I started doing this now. I started doing this showing you the angles and the angel, the angle and the angel number frequency of the word reaching. Now, the word reach in numerology adds up to the number 26 in the in the Pythagorean system, but it adds up to the number 16 in the Chaldean system. The word reach adds up to 26 in the Pythagorean system when you just use the word reach without going with the ing. And in the Chaldean system, it adds up to the number 16. And you know, I like to go to my book because my book points out a lot of things on different levels where, because we point out the constructive and destructive meanings, or positive and negative meanings of these numbers. If you go into my book on page, those who have my book, if you don't have my book, it's all right. But if you go into my book on page 72 of Numerovation for Mental Stability, and I might even pull out, my spirit just said pull out my other book too and talk about it from that perspective also, because I have a perspective in that book too, as I keep on developing and growing into what I'm doing here for the people and for myself also. But going to one of the older systems of connecting yourself to these numbers, the number 26 is on page 72 of my book. And the number 26, which this adds up to, the word reach, 26 is a symbol of consideration of the path taken. So the word reach itself is opening you to the symbolism, or open you to the awareness that you have to consider the path that you're taking, or the path that you're reaching for, or what you want to reach. Because the word reach, we already know what it means. I just pulled out the dictionary meaning, which comes from the Germans and the Dutch. The word reach is added to the number 26, which is the symbol of consideration of the path taken, and treading lightly, and of caution. The word reach, because some people, let's take a child for instance. When they finally get to walk and be able to reach for things, they have to be very cautious about what they're reaching for, because they can pull down things on top of them that might cause a problem, because they're so inquisitive and they're looking to reach. And we understand, but you wouldn't want a whole shelf to fall on a child because of their reach. You wouldn't want a cup of tea to fall on your baby because of the reach. So we got to be very mindful. And that's why it adds up to a number 26. It makes sense to me because it adds up to the 26. And in my book, I talk about on page 72, I talk about the 26 being a symbol. Remember, the words, the letters, numbers are only symbols. And these are vibrations and symbols that are connected to vibrations and frequencies and interpretation over patterns and studies of years, to make sure that we learn to navigate better. So as a child, might be 2 or 3 years old, that can walk and reach, and you see them, they get into everything. But if they reach for something that can just hit them on their head or hurt them or burn them, there's a problem in the reach or the reaching. Just trying to say that, again, the word reach in the Pythagorean system is 26, and in the Chaldean system is the number 16, adds up to 16. 10, 15, 16. Then I go on to say in the book that the number 26 is full of serious warnings and disasters, according to older studies. People and vibrations connected to the number 6 or the number 26 have to be mindful of disasters brought about by acquaintances with others, losses brought by bad speculation, bad partnerships, bad unions, and bad advice. So this is not just pertaining to the word reach, because you might be reaching for somebody that's not good for you. You might be reaching for in a situation that might not be good for you. So you got to it's a warning. The 26 is a number of warning. Serious warning of disaster for the future if you're reaching for the wrong thing. If you're reaching for the wrong thing. Reach is the root word of reaching. If you're reaching for the wrong thing, disaster, bad partnership. You could be reaching some women and some men because they got a big booty, or they might think they got a big body and or they look beautiful. You're trying to reach for that person, and they could be a whole evil, abusive person. That's why the number 26 is so important to this word. Because again, it gives serious warnings and disasters of the future. And when I added up the word reaching in the Pythagorean system, it added up to 47, which is 11. And 11, remember, especially when it comes to relationship, the number 11, as much as everybody wants this positive aspect of the master number 11, which is a master number, you got to remember that the older teachings of the number 11 is the number that whatever is connected to it can bring about treachery and deception from others. No matter how powerful reaching is on one level, on the other level, it can bring about treachery and deception from others, and can be a master, and people that have the vibration of the 11 can be a master of deception. So people born under that 11 frequency, or their name might add up to 11, or 11 might exist in their name, or their life path or something, they could be a master of deception also, or be deceived by others. And the treachery and deception of others can be the downfall if they don't learn to pay attention to their intuition, because 11 is an intuitive number. The word reaching adds up to 47. 4 plus 7 equals 11. 1 plus 1 equals 2. So there's different levels of the word reaching, just because I see that number 47 also. But 47, if we go to the older teachers of numerology, the number 47, I like to touch Kiro. I always mention Kiro. This is also one of Lloyd's teachers also. I mean, not physically, but through his books. But the number 47 says it's the same. They say 47 in compound numerology or composite numerology. 47 has the same meaning as 29. And let's read what he says about the number 29, shall we? Let's read what he says about the number 29, since it has the same meaning in that interpretation of compound numerology. That's why I tell people to look at things from a holistic perspective. Don't just look at it Pythagorean only. Don't just look at it Chaldean only. Go everywhere with it so you can get a full picture of it. Go everywhere with it so you can get a full picture of it. So 29, he says in his book, and I got it written in my book, but I want to read it from one of the authentic older scholars of numbers and vibration. And he said, from his perspective, because he give straight negative with that 29. And that's why a lot of people run away from certain numerology systems, because sometimes it can be so morbid and negative. But there's always a light on the other side of what may be considered negative. Is always a positive side. And that's what I do in my book, Numerovation for Mental Stability, where in his book, you'd have to go to the number 2, the 11, the 29, where he breaks it down. He gives you the positive from his perspective. But when it comes to this compound number showing up, and since 47 has the same meaning in compound numerology, it says the number 29 indicates uncertainties, treachery, and deception of others. It foreshadows trials, tribulation, and unexpected dangers, unreliable friends, and grief and deception caused by members of the opposite sex. So if you're a woman, a man can be your issue and can be deceptive and grief. If you're a man, it can be a woman that can be deceptive, which is so interesting because, point, case study, Usain Bolt, the prolific runner from Jamaica. He's born August the 21st. His alignment numbers are 29, and do you know that the money that was siphoned out of his account was by a woman? Did you know that the money that was siphoned out of his account was by a woman that was handling his money? I can go to Umar Johnson and how women are trying to set him up in certain ways. I can go to Umar Johnson, okay? He may talk about cookies and milk and whatever he talk about. That's his business. But I can go to Umar Johnson. That's why he has to be very careful about the women he allow into his space. And anybody connected to the 29, you always have to be a little bit more cautious with the man or the woman you allow in your space until they prove themselves. But as he goes on to say, he says in his book 29, foreshadows trials, tribulation, and unexpected dangers, unreliable friends, and grief and deception caused by members of the opposite sex. It gives grave warning if it comes out in anything concerning future events. That's it. That's all he says from this portion of his book. Now, if you go to the number 2, 29, and 11, he breaks it down. He does a great job. Of course, he's one of the OGs in that. I give them all respect. Him, Lloyd, everybody that's been doing it for years, thousands of years, whatever. But if you go to my book, I talk about the 29. Since 47 is the same meaning of the 29 in compound numerology, I say in my book that the number 29 is the symbol of compassion and completion of vision, but is also known as the number of uncertainty, treachery, and deception, especially in regards to relationship with others. Why do I start off with the symbol of compassion and completion of vision? Why? Because 29, the 2 and the 2 represents compassion. The number 9 represents completion. So whatever you do in order for you to accomplish the greater goals of your life, you got to be compassionate about it when you're reaching for it, and you got to complete it. You got to complete the vision that you are compassionate about and what you're reaching for. You can't start and stop and start and stop. But because this number adds up to 4 and 7, now I can take it there. Just by using the 4 and 7, although the compound number 4 and 7 means the same meaning as the number 29, as I read out of my book, but 4 and 7 has its own individual meaning. So the word reaching, if we go to my book on page 63, I go to the number 4 and it says, the 4 is the symbol of the square laying a foundation and also known as the physical plane number. So if you're reaching for something in your life to accomplish it or succeed or to achieve it, you have to be willing to lay the foundation for it. If you're reaching for it, because the number 4 is the number of reaching, laying a foundation. It is a number of staying organized, communicating clearly. So whatever you're reaching for, you got to communicate clearly with the spirit realm, because the number 7 represents the intuitive spirit realm also. And then, of course, it adds up to number 11, which is also a master number of spirituality and compassion and deeper insight. So if you want to reach for something, your internal the internal understanding has to be established first in order for you to succeed, because 11 is still the fame and fortune number. according to certain mathematics or studies of numbers and vibration, it is still one of those numbers that can lead you to fame and fortune. But the 4 has to be established because that's the foundation laying. The 7, in my book, I talk about the number 7 on page 64, and it says, the 7 is the symbol of spiritual growth and development. So laying a foundation and having spiritual growth and development is very important for you to reach or be reaching to your goal or reaching to the next level. If y'all understand what I'm saying, put the number 1 in the chat. And these are for those people that are on a spiritual reaching journey, because the word reaching, one of the meanings for the word reaching is succeed in achieving. And the other word for the word reaching is succeed in influencing or having an effect on. We got to have, this is why you're reaching, because you want to have an influence and you want to have an effect on something or someone or the masses of people, or just your own life, or just your own finance. That's why we're reaching. This ain't new. I'm not new to this. Please, by all means, when you're ready to book a session, I will connect your name. I connect your vibration with reaching and what you need to reach for. Whether you believe it or not, whether you adhere to it or not. I never imagined that I would be writing books. Never. I used to love to sing. I never imagined to be writing books. Never. Not from when I was 12 or those years. No, I like to read, but I never thought about writing books. I used to sing. As a matter of fact, this children's book that I'm coming out with is based on my first song that went up to number 5 on the reggae chart. Let We Tell the Story. That's coming out soon. So I never thought about actually writing books until I decided that I'm going to reach for that goal. And thus in 2012 is when I wrote my first book. I started writing it on February the 19th, and I finished it on August the 1st, and did a release party on August the 19th. I kept it within my number 1 energy. And that particular year, when I added the number 2 plus 3 plus 2012, it added up to a number 8 frequency for me. So that 8 was a materialization frequency for me. That 8 was a money frequency for me. That 8 was a leadership, taking my own reign and started reaching for what I wanted to accomplish. And I started the book on February, right after my aunt transitioned. That same day she transitioned, I started writing my book on February the 19th. And then I finished it by August the 1st, really a little before, but I had to do the editing and all that. And then I did the release party on August the 19th at SOB's in Manhattan. And I was in an 8-year frequency of materializing things, making things happen, money, frequency, of drawing currency towards me. And I wrote this book. This was the first book that I ever wrote. I didn't write a numerology book first. This is the book I ever wrote, called No Promotion is Bad Promotion. Just spell my name right. That was the original name. This is actually the revised version. No promotion is bad promotion. All publicity is good publicity. Just spell my name right. That is the book that I wrote. I had to reach. But I had to reach from within. That's why the word reaching adds up to that number 11 that tells you to go within, because it's a deeper, intuitive, let's say, DNA explosion that had to happen. Something had to happen in me for me to start writing. But let's go to the word reach and what it adds up to in the Chaldean system, because that is the oldest and a mystical system also. deeper symbolisms. But in the Chaldean system, it adds up to a number 16. And if you heard me talk about 16, you could also go to my book on Numerovational for Mental Stability. And I can go to the OG, talk about the 16, because he goes on to say that the number 16 is a most peculiar occult symbolism. It is a picture of a tower struck, this is dealing with tarot now, tower struck by lightning, from which a man is falling with a crown on his head. It is also called the Shattered Citadel. It gives warning for some strange fatalities awaiting one, also danger of accidents and defeat of one's plans. It appears as a compound number relating to the future. It is a warning sign that should be carefully noted and plans made in advance in the endeavor to avert its fatalistic tendencies. So, what is he saying? If you don't plan what you do when you're striving to reach something or reach a goal, it can become fatalistic in your life. It can be a problem in your life. So in my book, although he stays on the negative, or what we would consider a lower vibration of the word, the number 16, which the word reach adds up to, before I get to the 25, which is a 7. In my book, I talk about the number 16. I got to give the balance, the positive aspect, so you learn, I've always said, so you learn to manage your weaknesses and strengthen your strength. Manage the destructive and strengthen the constructive. Manage the negative and strengthen the positive. That is my goal as a numerovator. One who practices the system of numerovation. I'm not just going to read you and tell you this and all that, and it sounds so good, and you want to, and some of y'all don't even use it. It's a waste of people's time and money. And I don't want people to come and waste their time and money to book a session with me if you're not going to use it, because the study of numbers, or numerology, is applied mathematics. This is what I say on the flyer. Look at it. Read the bottom. It's applied mathematics. Learn how to apply your numbers and they will guide you. I am guaranteed of it. It guided me. It's guided Lloyd. It's guided Ian Levazant. It's guided Queen Afua. It's guided Oprah. It's guided Katie Couric. It has guided Wesley Snipes. It has guided many people. In celebrity, and I throw the celebrities out because some of y'all know these people. You'll be surprised who get consulted by people like Lloyd or other people. You'd be surprised who get astrological breakdown and numerological breakdown or palm. You'd be surprised. Do they believe in God or not? They believe in Creator. They believe in, but doing these type of things, like I said in my book, doing these type of modalities are not taking you away from your belief in your God. Although they like to talk about divination being of the devil. Who would ever put that in the Bible, especially after reading Moses, and when he threw his staff down and the Pharaoh's men threw their 2 staff down, both of them did some type of divinational magic. The 2 men that worked with Pharaoh threw their staff down and turned into a serpent, both of them. And then Moses threw his staff down to prove the power and the intentions of the Almighty. And his staff turned into a big-ass snake and devoured those 2 snakes to show the power of positive and productive intention. So y'all be careful what y'all calling divination as something negative, when divination means divine nation, and all of us claim to be the children of the Almighty, which is the divinity, children of the divinity, the divine one. We keep on forgetting because they played word games with us. And we're not reaching, because modalities like numerology and astrology or numerovational cosmophysics or cardology helps you to be accountable for who you are. It gives you accountability. to recognize the angels in your life, which could be your own numbers or people around you or things around you. So which angle you're going to take. That's why angel and angle is the same word. It's just the mix up of the G, E, and L. Angel and angle is the same word. So whether you take the negative angel and go down the wrong angle, or might be a learning angle, because maybe you needed to learn that lesson. That's why you went down the prostitution, the pimping, the whoring, the madness, the weed, the drugs, and you still alive today. Now, which angle are you going to take now? Are you going to be a solution to the people you caused problem to when you was younger and smoking and drinking? Look, this is about my club life. Oh man, I was getting a lot of pum. I had a lot of women. But I ain't got no time to do that no more. I'm alive today, disease-free, because something inside of me that was deeply reaching inside of me to pull out the spiritual aspect of me to do the job that I'm doing today for you and me. Because this is therapeutic for me too, as well as it might be therapeutic for you. Real talk. People who know me in my club life, they will laugh. They'll say, we is. Like my father too, he was a club head and a womanizer too. And when I used to run into old friends, a lot of them have passed on by now. When I used to run into old friends of my father, they'll say, what? Trevor is a pastor? What? Trevor is a minister? And I said, Trevor is a what? That's how they see them. Because they are stuck in that part of his life when he was playing music. He was a womanizer. He'll have a woman here and then a woman across the street and a woman up the block and a woman in the next state. Because he owned a nightclub, and most nightclub people are whores and sluts. Nightclub owners are a bunch of whores and sluts. Most of them, I don't say all of them, but most of them, unless you have your family a part of it, like I can respect SOB's owner because he made sure that his family was involved, where he will make sure the club is packed, and his wife made sure the decor was good. She was the Leo, he was the Aquarius. That was in Leo and Aquarian energy. You know what I'm saying? So I seen that in the club life. But when men is running clubs by themselves and their women is not around or their wife is not around, they a whole big hoe. Let me make it real mild and straight to the point. From my perspective, since I was in that life for many years. Matter of fact, I was born in a nightclub. A whole hoe. You know what I'm saying? So it's, you know, and that's what I learned over the years. And now I'm able to teach and share with people. So again, getting to the word, back to the word reach. Reach is a number 16. It adds up to the number 16, which is the number of spiritual victory or defeat. It's in my book, page 68. This is due to intense cross-referencing and studying to get this book out. And then I got in the back of the book, recommended reading, where you can go and go study and, you know, tap in. But the number 16 that the word reach adds up to, before I get to reaching, the word reach is a symbol of spiritual victory and defeat, depending on its physical use in this realm. So depending on what you are inspired to reach for, whether it's physical or spiritual, it can be spiritually victorious or it can be a defeatist mindset that you might lead yourself to, depending on what you're using it for and what you're reaching for or what's your reach. The number 16 is a number of creativity. Reach for creativity. A number 16 is the number of balance, love. Reach for balance, reach for love, reach for spiritual insight is the number 16 also. The number 16 is also known as the cosmic consciousness. So you got to reach for cosmic consciousness. That's what reach is, what you're supposed to do from its higher aspect. But like I said earlier, when I read from Chiro's book, and I have it in my book too, I said 16 give warnings that plans must be made in advance in order to prevent fatalities. So you got to plan. Because if you don't plan, and I tell many of my clients, when I start seeing that 16 and them 7s and all that, you got to plan or you plan to fail. You got to have a blueprint if you plan on reaching for anything you want to accomplish in your life. If I'm making sense, please put the number 1 in the chat. Put the number 1 in the chat if I'm making sense. And in my book, I have the charts, the Chaldean and the Pythagorean charts in there, so you can show where, so in other words, like for instance, that's those that want to learn or take my courses or take my classes and all that kind of stuff, because I teach it a little different. But like for instance, on that board, you'll see the Pythagorean system and the Chaldean system, but I have that in my book also. I see to calculate, you mean how to connect the numbers with the words, numbers with the letters. The numbers are on top, numbers are on top, the letters are on bottom. You'll notice that the Chaldean system is set up a little bit differently. And the interpretation over years of studying is a little bit different than the Pythagoras. So it gives you another perspective and a bigger picture on what you're looking for and what you're looking at when you're dealing with names and birthdays. But it's in my book. The charts are in my book. It's in both of my books, as a matter of fact. It's in both of my books, all of my books, as far as the numbers books. It's on all of my books, as a matter of fact. So it's important. And like I tell people, I'm not caught up in numbers the same way you might watch television. They do that to distract people. When they put out movies like 23 and Knowing, those type of, they're trying to put a fear factor on knowing this type of information, when all the negative always have a positive to it. All the quote unquote negative always has a positive to it. Always. Thank you very much. Always has a positive negative. Always. So it's interesting. And in my previous broadcast, I've broken down numbers and your name, your birthday, but what I have learned how to do through constant study and meditation and uploads and downloads, downloading from the macro cosmic universe and uploading from the microcosmic universe, is learn how to relate these frequencies to names, numbers, situations. So you could go to gematria. Gematria is a very good science. It just goes a little. It's something that comes from the Judaic teachings of their studies and their research, and they add a little more. They add another depth to words or situations that might be happening in the world, where I personalize it because I want to motivate you. Because if I motivate the human being or the man and the woman, then we can have a better world. You can have a better outcome. You can have a better movement and navigational system for yourself. That's why I created the word numerovation, thanks to the ancestors. Because it's about motivating the people with the numbers, connected to words, names, or whatever. So even all of this, all the 26 and 16, the 47, 11, 2, if you're connected to those numbers, what I said means something too. To you, if you're born under the 11 or the 2 of the month, or the 29th of the month, or born on the 16th or 26th of the month, if you're born on the 25th or the 7th of the month, what I'm saying is also relating to you. Now, before I move on, let's go to the 25, because the word reaching adds up to 25. Now, these numbers are very interesting because these are the internals of the word. The vowels of the word add up to the number 7. The vowels of the word in the Pythagorean system adds up to the number 15, which is a 6. And 15 in numerology is a symbol of the magic and mystery. So the word reaching has a level of magic and mystery because the combination of it is supposed to bring balance and represents the perfected humanity. And remember that number 15 is called the devil card. So, and it's a battle between the physical and the spiritual. So when you're reaching for something, there's something about you got to make sure that you bring equilibrium between the spiritual and the physical in order for what you're reaching can be successful and that you can be accountable for what you're reaching for. I'm showing you how doing it from my perspective, how I bring it all together. And please do not be afraid. If this is something of significance that's helping you, don't be afraid to spread love. That Cash App is waiting. I got no problems with that, baby. I scroll it on the bottom because it's called circulating information, and it's all about reciprocation. Because no one is going to teach it the way I teach it. Why I say that? Because whatever comes from me is unique to me. I am not able to teach the way Lloyd teaches because whatever came through him is unique to him. I can't teach what you teach from your perspective because whatever came to you is unique to you. So nobody's going to teach numerovation the way I teach it because it's something that came through me that's unique for me. And the old saying is, the world needs your unique gift. Don't leave with them still inside of you. And as you can see, I'm not leaving with nothing inside of me. Because actually, I don't want to come back to this realm, period. I'm done with this. I don't know if you are, but I am. I don't want to come back and do this thing again. And if I do have to come back, it's probably going to be through one of my great-great-great-grandchildren that says, hey, let me show you why numbers are very important for the ages, because this will never go out of style. Guiding people with this, numerovation, motivating people with this, in the year 3000, it will still be around. Let me say that again. In the year 3000, it will still be around. Because there is going to be levels of people that make multiples of people, both rich and poor, that needs guidance throughout their life. Love always wins. And it's because I love it. It's why I do it. So let me finish this off because we're about on an hour. The number 25. If you go to my book on page 72, 25 is the symbol of strength, experience, and observation. So when you're reaching, you're developing strength. When you're reaching for that goal, you're reaching for that accomplishment, you're developing strength, experience, and you learn the science of observation because along you're growing and becoming stronger, you're observing what you've been through. And like Les Brown would say, in the bad times, you put it in your heart because you remember it. But in the good times, you put it in your pocket. In the bad times, you put it in your heart because it was heartfelt. You went through your mind and your heart molded together, and it's heartfelt. But in the good time, when you've overcome and become stronger, and you've gotten experience through reaching what you wanted to reach in your goals, then you put it in your pocket because the byproduct is financial currency and energy coming to you because you develop strength and experience. That's the 25. And you observed along the way. Look how simple that is. But the 25 is also the number of endurance. So you can't be reaching for a goal and don't endure through all the madness that goes. Believe me, I've been through a lot of stuff. And I'm sure many of you out there have been through a lot of ish with people, relationship, family, jobs. I've been fired from enough jobs because I wasn't supposed to work for nobody. I got laid off because I wasn't supposed to work for nobody. Matter of fact, one of my radio personality jobs, my producer, my program director called me the Lone Ranger. I ride along. I'm Bass Reeves, baby. I'm Bass Reeves. He called me the Lone Ranger, Trinidadian boy. What's his name? Rennie Bishop. Those who are from Trinidad know who Rennie Bishop is. He was my program director at WWRL. He called me the Lone Ranger because I just did what I wanted to do. Because you hired me to do what I wanted to do. You hired me because what happens is that some of these guys from back in those days, in terrestrial radio days, let's not some of it, and some program directors are like that. They don't. They want to do what you're doing, and he did it well. I can't say Rennie he didn't do it well. Big up to Rennie Bishop. But if you're hiring me to have fun and enjoy what I did when you loved me on the weekend, and the owners and everybody loved the energy of me and Prince Kalunda back in the day on radio, and then they put us together as a morning show host, which was brilliant because Prince Kalunda is born February 19th and I'm born February 1st. The two number ones was doing what we do to the point that we made another radio station change their morning format. They changed their morning format to a Leo and a Gemini, which was David Levy in the morning, and Ann Tripp, who's born under Gemini. She's born June the 10th. They changed their whole morning format because of me and Prince Kalunda. Because they knew. Funny. It was hilarious. But it's all about, before I go, it's all about you, the human or the person that vibrates with this number or vibrate with wanting to reach what you, of course, the word reach adds up to 16. So you have to plan, or you plan to fail. Keep it that simple. And the word reaching adds up to 25, which means it's a symbol of strength, experience, and observation. So on your path to reaching your goal, you have to gain strength, you have to gain experience, and you have to observe along the way. And it's also the number of endurance. And when you break it down to the number 7, in my book, if you go to my book 7, it's a symbol of spiritual growth and development. The number 7, spiritual growth and development. Higher intuitive understanding is the number 7 that 25 adds up to. So those are levels to this stuff. And last but not least, I want to get into the angel numbers, because I told y'all how I come about bringing out the triple angel numbers out of a word or a number. What I do is just add the double numbers, 25 plus 13 plus 51 plus 53 equals 142. And in that system, 95 plus 13 plus 89 plus 57 equals 254. So then I see, although it still breaks down to the number 11 when you add it all up, and it still breaks down to the number 7. But if you want to go into recognizing the angel or the angle from a perspective that I am talking about, and you could use angel number books. This I keep on showing Doreen Virtue, although she's not into it. This book is called Angel Number 101 by Doreen Virtue. Let's go to 254 and what she says about the angel number. So remember, angel or angle numbers is if you're constantly seeing it or it reveals itself in any way. If you constantly see 254 or 142, it's alerting you if you see it more than 3 times. You can call it an angel number, but I always like to say that there's an angel and there's a demon to everything. So there's an up and down, there's an angle that you have to take. Whether you're going to take the high road or the low road of 254, that's up to you. Whether you're going to take the high road or the low road of 142, that's up to you. In her book, she says 254 means that angels are watching over you as you change your life for the better. Reaching. So the word reaching is connected to what she says. The angel are watching over you. The angels are watching over you as you change your life for the better. Ask them for help. And all aspects of this change and it is given, or it will be given. If you're reaching for something and the angel number or the angel frequency is saying is your ancestors or your angels are watching over you, you just have to ask for it or allow yourself to receive it so you can go down or go up the right angle of it. The negative, if you go opposite towards reaching and you stop devaluating yourself or reaching for negative stuff in your body and your negative stuff in your relationship, always looking at the negative instead of looking at the positive. It's just like in a relationship, a person can be in the best relationship for 10 years. 10 years, best fun, enjoyable relationship for 5 to 10 years. And if that man or that woman smack you once, you'll be reaching for that smack every time on the negative. All the time. It never stops. Because we learn through symbol, repetition, and trauma a lot of time. So that traumatic one smack. I mean, I was angry at an auntie. Me and her, we forgive each other and we worked it out just recently because she's getting older and I wanted to make sure I resolved that. I was angry at my auntie for smacking, and she was married to my uncle, but she was like, married in the family, for smacking me in the back of my head. Years ago, I was a child, and I still remember that. And every time I came around her, even up into my 40s and 50s, I always looked at her strangely and always went back to that trauma. That one time she smacked me, because she never smacked me in my life before that. And then that one time I got smacked by her, I never forgot that one smack. I kept on reaching and reaching and reaching to that. To that point when I realized she was getting older and sick and going in and out of the hospital, I said, you know what, let me call her and heal that situation. And I told her, and I started crying because I told her that she never did it to me before. Her husband never even hit me. Uncle Carby, he never even hit me. But for her to tap me, smack me in the back of the head, that triggered me to hold on to something to a point that last year, we resolved that. And I apologize for holding on to that. And she said she always said she knew it was something, because every time I came around her, I don't care how old I was, how established I was, I'll sit away from her. I'll be respectful. I'll sit and boom, boom. I'll sit with my back towards the wall. And I don't want nobody hitting me in the back of my head and all that kind of stuff. Never like people to just touch me on my head out of no reason because they felt they can, or I never liked that. Never liked that. So I had to resolve and heal that. And I hope that you are resolving and healing also, family. You have to resolve and heal, forgive, and let go of that madness. Let go of it. Let go of that madness. Let go of it. Let go of that madness. Don't hold on to it, because it can cause mental issues. It can cause internal stomach problems and all that, because every time you see that aunt or that uncle, they could have molested you or hit you or beat you for the first time or put their hands on you when you didn't expect them to do it. That's what we start reaching for, that trauma. So again, 254, the angel and the angle, the angels are watching over you. For the word reaching is watching over you as you change your life, because in your reaching, you're going to be changing your life. There's going to be a lot of changes. There's going to be a lot of loss, a lot of gain, for the best and the worst. But in your reaching, because that angel, quote unquote, angel and angle number says the angels are watching over you, and your angels are your ancestral bloodline. It's in your vibration already. And you got the positive ancestors, you got the negative ancestors. It's how you manage and which one you choose to allow to let you do what you got to do. So the angels are watching, or the ancestors are watching over you as you change your life for the better. Ask them. Ask your internal energetic bloodline ancestry. Ask them for help with all aspects of this change, and it is given. It will be given. It may be given right away. It might be given over time. It might be given in a few hours, but it will be given to you. I'm a testament and a testimonial of that. Big up to Rainwater. What's up, Rainwater? Bruce Lee. Wah! And let's go to the Chaldean connection to 142 and what she says in the book. And there's other angel number books out there. I'm writing one personally. I just getting through it because I'm doing it from angle and angel. I'm not just doing an angel number and to put a brief paragraph in it, a brief sentence in it like she might do, or a brief I got some stuff to say. Because when I start downloading and uploading, it's like, whoa, what the heck you want me to say in this book? Because this is whatever's happening. It's Kali Yuga is gone and we in this, whatever's happening, there's so much uploads and downloads coming to me, man, through dreams and everything else. Like, damn, it's like an overload, so I have to filter it out. That's why I keep on coming up here. Because, like I told Miss Blue, I said, Miss Blue, she said, "Man, it seems like you on all the time." I move with my spirit. And this reaching was based off of watching the movie Raymond Reddington, the last episode of the Raymond Reddington episode with Blacklist. This was, and it was during the time when Dembe, his former bodyguard, was speaking, and he kept on saying, Raymond keep on reaching. He kept on saying that reach. Kept on saying that word reach and reaching. And that's what triggered me to come and want to break down. Soon as I finished watching that and tears rolled down my eyes, I wrote the word reaching on this board. And I said, I got to break that down. Because I learned from movies and matinees, because that's what Baba Phil and Bobby Hemmett and Panic and all of them taught us to go and study. KT and all of us told us to go study movies. Because there's words in there and there's moments in there that will trigger you to see something different. And that's why this is what we're doing. This is why I'm doing this. The numerovational power of reaching. The numerovational power. And I'm not going to give a spoiler alert again. Y'all got to go watch. Y'all got to go watch that Blacklist, the last season. Powerful, because the guy who played Raymond Reddington is an Aquarius. He's born February 7th. Him, Kid Capri, Chris Rock. If you notice, all of them was going through certain success at the same time. If you notice the patterns, if you see all of them, what Kid Capri was doing and producing and putting out and being featured in certain places in television show, what Chris Rock is putting out his last one, Selective Outrage and all that kind of stuff. Jack Spade, his name is Jack Spader. Yo, he did the damn thing in that television show. He did the damn thing. And we always wanted to hear how he articulates his story. And if you Google up most of the stories, you're going to find truth in it. Especially when he spoke about the matador. I had to Google up that matador. Yo, that matador's life path is a 9. When I Google up, what's his name? From Spain, it was a matador that got killed by the bull. One of the most famous matador got killed by the bull, and they had the horns of that bull. Raymond Reddington had the horns of that bull. You know, it was up for auction and all that kind of stuff. But it's crazy. Y'all got to go watch it before I give y'all a spoiler alert. I don't want to give y'all. I did it last time the other day, and I don't want to do it again. But let me close out. Last but not least, the number 142. And I'm only using her Angel Numbers book because it was a successful book. Although she does not do it anymore. Her name is Doreen Virtue. Doreen Virtue. She was featured on CNN, Oprah, The View, Good Morning America, various other places. But she stopped doing it. She don't even, but I'm sure she's still making money because, look, if people like me and people like Sri Master Gano Grills that spoke about this book and all that. She's still making money from it, and I'm glad, because that whatever was uploaded to her and downloaded to her at the time of making her books and her series was needed, no matter if she went back to Christianity or not. That's her walk. She needed to take a step back to move forward. And remember what Les Brown used to say: every setback is a setup for a comeback. So we're gonna see her again, but every setback is a set up for a comeback. So even if you go through setbacks in your life with relationships and business and job, it's a setup for you to realize and study it so you can come back a better way. So every setback is a setup for a comeback. Big up to Les Brown for dropping that back in the day in classes. 142, last but not least, the angel and angle number of 142, from the word reaching. Like I say, I add up 25 plus 13 plus 51 plus 53 to get to 142. That's what makes me a little bit different than some. I'm willing to look at it from a multiplicity of levels and holistic perspective. And there's more out of it I can get. You can get the vowels out of it. I can get the consonants out of it. I can add 3 numbers, and 3 numbers, and then the 2, and get another frequency out of it. But I'm keeping it simple. I'm keeping it real simple. This is really simple. So last but not least, what she says in her book about 142, the angels are helping you stay strong while reaching, positive while reaching, and filled with faith while reaching. They know that this situation is working out beautifully, and they want you to know that everything is okay. So if you're constantly seeing the 142, or you're constantly reaching for the most positive and productive aspect of your life, according to a book, I'm trying to show y'all how to read these different numerology books to support you along the way, even with words and names and birthdays. 142, from the angel number perspective of her book, it says the angels are helping you to stay strong, positive, and filled with faith. They know that this situation is working out beautifully, and they want you to know that everything is okay. And like Bob Marley says, everything will be all right. People don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be all right. It's all right to reach. It's all right to reach and be your great self. And I implore all of you, do not leave this planet without sharing your gift. I wish that for all of you. No matter how much time you feel you got, no matter what's going on the outside, no matter what's going on in the inside of you, no matter what's going on in your family, I wish that wholeheartedly for everyone, my friends, my family, my foes. I wish that for everyone. Because no weapon formed against me or you will prosper if you're reaching for the most highest vibratory level of the frequency of the number connected to yourself and your birthday and your names and the words that you use. That's why you got to keep things on a higher frequency. You got to keep it on a higher frequency. And yes, I'm tearing up because I'm a humanitarian connected to that sign of Aquarius that want to see us win. I'm like Dr. Spock. The needs of the many outweighs the needs of the one. Because if y'all get better through whatever I'm guiding you with and teaching y'all with, the world gets better in some perspective, in some way. The world will get better. The world gets better. For real. The world will get better. Forgive yourself, like Dr. B says. Like, and let me close this out. Like Dr. B says, I forgive myself. I forgive myself first. Big up to Dr. B for this quote. I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection. And I am thankful for my life. Everybody should recite that. Everybody should take a snapshot of this. No matter what you went through in any of your relationships, no matter what you went through with your mother and your father, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, whatever it is, forgive yourself first. Your children, even if they're not talking to you, forgive yourself first. Forgive your family because they going through what they going through. They living their life and life be life and like I broke down. Others, your relationship, your past relationship, the women you've hurt, the men you've hurt, the children you've hurt by not being there and all that. I could only forgive myself because I know I was that person that was not there a lot of times for my children. I know that. But I had to forgive myself, or it would become some type of disease that would have taken me off this planet faster. I would have had more gray hair. But because I learned to forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection, enemies and old friends and ex-friends and all that, I forgive them too for their imperfection. And I am thankful for my life. I am so thankful for my life. I am so thankful for my life. Family, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody on Instagram, everybody on YouTube, everybody on Twitter, anybody on Facebook, all my Facebook pages that I'm broadcasting, all my YouTube pages that I'm broadcasting platform. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for allowing me to come before you again with a topic that's so dear to me because it influenced me to come here and do this. The numerovational power of reaching with the root word reach. This was a King Simon expressive perspective. That's all it was. It's a perspective. And I hope everybody appreciated this perspective. And I wish you well. I wish all of your family longevity, prosperity in every level of your life. I wish you the best, as I wish myself and my family, my children, my grandchildren, everybody. I'm understanding that I might have a 14th grandchild. I just said 13 a few months ago. I might have a 14th grandchild now, so it is what it is. And that's why I write. That's why I do what I do. And please, family, take the time out to order my books. If you can't send a donation via Cash App and PayPal right now, hey, go to Amazon.com and Google King Simon on Amazon, or just go through my Linktree and scroll down for my books. All my books is on Linktree. All my books is on Linktree. And look out for the audio book coming soon, more than likely right around spring. And look out for the new children's book coming soon, right around spring also. The new children's book for the babies, your nieces, your nephews. Very simple. We tell the story based on my reggae 5 top 10 charter back in 1989, 1990 called Black and White Story. Let we tell the story. That's the name of the book. Let we tell our story. You know what I'm saying? Don't let other people tell your story. Once again, family, you've been watching King Simon Presents Only Quality People and the Numerovation Nation on all platforms. Remember, tune in to the Healing Vibes. Last night we had L.A. Wade. What a beautiful interview that sister did with us from out of Canada. Great executive producer, writer, and all types of stuff she does. She got some books on her, boy. Don't forget, on the 25th, we got Aleem Il Bey coming in. The last Sunday of the month. On the 28th, we're going to rebroadcast something. Both myself and And Carrie Ann has got to do something. So we're going to rebroadcast the Queen of Four show, the first show we did with Queen of Four. And I am so honored to bring this sister back on the show. Dr. Shakira Moore will speak about loving your eyes, loving you. Loving you is so easy 'cause you're so beautiful. And everything that you do, I'm so in love with you. Love your eyes, family. La, 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 la. And big up to Professor Jay Smalls coming to Atlanta. Get your tickets before March 1st. Get your early bird tickets before March 1st. And get your early bird tickets for the No Holds Bar all-day Q&A symposium with our great, great elder and legend. Support another elder, the one, the only Dr. LailaAfrica.com, LailaAfrica.com. My son, Green, Studio NYC.com. Make sure you support and show him love. Carrie Ann Ingram got her buy one, get one, 40% off. Text for a consultation, text reading to that number, and she'll hook you up. She's very good and very patient with people. Also, she does elevate your physical and mental well-being, like with distant Reiki energy healing. She's good at what she does. Believe me when I say this. Also, shop for her healing jewelry and collection. Hit her up, hit her up. Also, show love to Lloyd Strayhorn, Lloyd-Strayhorn.com, and call that 800 number and get astronumerology from another perspective. That's all I can offer and tell you, that he comes from a different perspective. He's the world-renowned astronumerologist and palm reader. Again, the audio book, the children's book, my books. And if you do want to book a session, I have 20 or 19 slots left in the month of March. 20 or 19 slots left in the month of March. So if you want to book a numerovational session, please text me your full name and date of birth. If you live outside of the United States of America and you live in Canada, England, or any other countries outside of the United States, use WhatsApp or use Signal. I'm on WhatsApp and I'm on Signal. All right? Accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection. I am thankful for my life. Like Dr. Blair used to say, please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth in your love now. Take care, family. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening, wherever and whatever time you may be watching this, all over the world, all 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth. And happy Savior's Day to all my brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam going to Detroit or going to watch the minister this weekend. Happy, happy Savior's Day, family. Enjoy your Savior's Day weekend. Enjoy your Savior's Day weekend, family. I wish I could be there, but I'll be watching it on NOI.org. That's NOI.org this weekend. Got to check out the minister. I always check him out every time. When I was there and when I was not there, I always check them out online or through YouTube or whatever. He was one of those people that guided and protected and that saved my life with the knowledge he had to offer. And like I say, I take what I need and keep it moving. It's all right. I still love them. I loved every organization that I've been in. Ansarullah community, which y'all call Nuwapian today. 5% Nation. I've loved the people that I've studied with, the Moors. I've loved the Christian brothers and sisters, the Rasta brothers and sisters that I've studied with. I love them all because I love me and all of me more and all more now than ever. All right? I don't know how long I have on this planet, but I want to make sure I make a difference more now than I did back in my club days when I was just partying and having a good time. So remember, we are the solutions to our problems. And the solution is always in the same mirror with the problem. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Peace and love.
Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.
Eye to eye, heart to heart, each one teach one us. This is Professor Imhotep, the Island Monk, here at Warrior Kido Jiu-Jitsu, Way of the Warrior Spirit. So we're here to go over the rules and try to make that as swift as possible for you guys. So the rules essentially are very few. Number one is to follow us on TikTok at the Island Monk, or if you have Instagram, you can follow us at Warrior Temple, Island University, or if you really love us and want to show us support, you can follow us at both. You're going to find the Kata Shodachi, and you're either going to duet us on TikTok or collab with us on Instagram and win 10 tickets for every additional video you do beyond that. So as we say with all the warriors, eye to eye, heart to heart, each one teach one, us.
Hey, this is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com, or Linktree at King Simon the Numerovator. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numerovation for Mental Stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now. It's the Numerovational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And get my books on Amazon now. Some people think that this esoteric knowledge is for the rich and the powerful. When in actuality, the so-called 85% has a spark in them that if it is sparked through numerology, astrology, numerovation, whatever, it will raise them up from an 85%, maybe to a 10%, and eventually they become the 5%, the poor or prosperous righteous teachers. We gotta understand that this knowledge is not just for one class of people. We gotta get out of the class.